Yeah, I'll be quick. Just really impressed with Coach Laux and his team. He's doing a great job with this group. They're playing as well as anybody that we've played recently in the ACC. And just watching these guys on film, they're clearly a connected group. They're playing with massive energy and enthusiasm. Uh, and I marveled at how fast they get the ball up the court. You know, they had us on our heels pretty much the entire game. We turned the ball over too much, but it was one of those gritty, games where we were able to just kind of hang in there and figure it out and find the way, at the end. Certainly our defense kept us in it. Our offense left a lot to be desired. Jakari was huge with the shot-making test down the stretch. Dallin and Chance, were good in terms of handling the ball. We stopped turning it over. And Ugo was dynamite, protecting our basket at the rim. I thought he did a really good job, a balanced night for him. But just proud of the group, and, certainly we're very fortunate to win.
Jeff.
Were you comfortable playing at Florida State's pace for a lot of the game? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're used to playing fast. Our press was pretty much non-existent, this game. And they do a good job. They play some lineups that are a little bit different than we're used to facing. Not, they have, stretches where they don't have a classic five-man out there. And so they really test you with their ball handling and spacing. And obviously they want to, they value the three-point shot, but they also get to the basket. And, I thought our guys, did a nice job overall handling it. We gave up an over the top. We gave it up a walk-in three in the first half. But for the most part, our guys, did a good job of setting the defense.
Great. And Jakari's been dealing with the wrist to try to find his rhythm shooting. Have you seen it coming and progressing over the last couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to limit, the ball handling as much as we can because it's hard for him, certainly with the left hand. And I think he's probably still a couple weeks away from, it being off of there where he can be himself. But, he was tremendous today. The play in transition, where he attacks with his right hand and gets to the rim. That's old Jakari. His offensive rebound was huge. The ball kind of kept finding him. And he kept delivering.
Any nerves when he went up for the dunk?
No, not really. I was excited. I saw the same thing he did because I was right in front of him, and it was just an inside out. We do that drill every single day, 45 attack, and he just went right at it.
Take one in the second row.
The result of your team, I think in the first half you guys went down by 7 and then immediately cut it back down to 1. In the second half you go down by 9, you cut it back down to 1 again. Just how are you guys able to do that so consistently and kind of just keep pushing it?
Yeah, it's keeping fresh guys in there. I think that's the first thing. We had a stretch there where one group was on a run and then they got dead tired, and I think we pulled it to 2 at that point. We had to sub. And, I think just credit the depth, the resiliency of the group. We have an experienced group that never feels like they're out of it. We certainly have to play better than we're playing right now. If we want to challenge, the best teams in the country. But I think the overall depth is something that, this team certainly has and relies on. But there's a toughness, when you've won, I guess it's 21 games now, they figure it out. They can win pretty, they can win ugly, and they just kind of find a way.
Jeff.
Ugo made things difficult on that final inbounds play, and just what about his impact on the game? And
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, I mean, at the rim, the late contests on some of those threes, just him being there when others drive. Our switching was much better, down the last 10 minutes. We were able to keep a body and a chest in front, much like they were doing to us early in the game. We couldn't get in there at all. And so I thought he did a great job, there. We had to take him out because they went small when they were searching for the three there. And then with 4 seconds to go, it made sense to put him on the ball there to disrupt. I was a little bit worried, they were going to run something because they had plenty of time to step a guy in, so he had to stay connected to Wiggins there.
Great. You have an older veteran team for the most part. How much does it help when you don't have a lead since a 13-minute mark in the first half and you have to play from behind? How much does it help when you have to rally?
Yeah, I mean, there's something about being on the road and being down and fighting the crowd and all of that. The competitor in all of us, wants to play in those types of environments. And, we've been in some really good ones this year. This was a great one, tonight. The fans showed up, for their team and in a positive way. And our guys just kept fighting. And Florida State fought, all for 40 minutes. And so, that's what you want in conference play. And certainly that's what we're getting.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, one more, Jeff.
Tess had not been having a great offensive game to that point, but he hit the foul line jumper that I think made it a 1-point game, and then after Jakari's dunk, I think he scored in the lane to make it 3 points.
Yeah, the bank.
Did that just speak to?
Yeah, he always thinks he's okay, and sometimes he's not okay. We have to remind him, hey, we need to get you back to being okay. But they messed us up a couple of times out of timeouts with switching defenses, and they switched to the zone, and they did on that one right there. I had another play called. We had to audible that call to get him in the middle of the lane there to catch it, and he's just confident in that little shot. Sometimes I don't like it, because it's one of those twos, but he's wide open right there, and so he was ready to take it. Thanks.
Coach.